Hello, it's me, Sapel. With a shot in the arm causing online discussion comes a lot of differing opinions. You either hate it, you love it, you won't buy it, you already bought it, you already bought it 10 times, etc. This stuff is sort of contained to its own corner of the world, and some places are more echo chambers than others. But the point I'm trying to make here is that online discussion is kind of biased. People will only talk about something online if they feel really strongly about it. If you eat a good pizza or an average pizza, you might not feel inclined to leave a review. But if you eat a really shitty pizza, you're gonna feel like you need to leave a review. The same goes for online discussion. Not everyone is gonna say their piece of what they think about the pizza. The reason why I mentioned this is because of the focus of this video: criticism and hate. There has just been so much negativity online about this game. It is absolutely insane. Did this game come into your house and cut your legs off or something? Why are you so mad? On the other side of the spectrum, you have people who aren't negative about this game and will do anything they can to defend it. And then when these two forces interact, it's like a constant battle of people who don't want to listen to each other until the other party sees things the exact way that they do. It reminds me of this picture. I understand that not everyone has the same opinion as the people that I will mention in this video, and that a lot of things are just from a vocal minority. Most normal people don't spend 20 hours a day online and they won't fit into either group. This video is not trying to generalize all criticism and hate, only the criticisms and hate from this one very vocal minority. Now, I'm not gonna defend a $1 million company. Criticisms of Kiwami 3 are justified. You want the quality of the luxury you're purchasing to be high, because it's exactly that, a luxury. But there are some people who really like buying the same game every year.
Pre-order now and get early access to the open.
However, there is a difference between a nitpick and a genuine criticism. In my last video, I talked about how I didn't like that in The Man Who Erased His Name, you need extreme heat mode to do finishing holds. Is that really a genuine criticism? Not really. It's a nitpick because it's personal preference. It doesn't really do anything to affect the quality of the game. What is a genuine criticism is the fact that all of the Coliseum fighters only have really basic movesets. It's a bottleneck that's placed on the game for no reason and only prevents you from having more fun with the game. Another genuine criticism I have is how some of the games will have this really shitty artificial difficulty. Enemies who just block all of your attacks. I don't mean for the game to be super easy, but this artificial difficulty with the blocking is really annoying, especially in the Dragon engine. You'll hit a guy, then he blocks your attack, then your combo gets interrupted, and then you start the slow ass combo again, only for it to get interrupted again. It's really clunky. It doesn't feel challenging, it's just a low effort way to make the game feel difficult. In the case of Kiwami 3, it's a remake of a game that already exists. There's a standard of quality that is already established by the original game. All Kiwami 3 has to do is meet or exceed the standard of quality that was established by the original. But that's why it's getting criticism. Kiwami 3 seems like it wants to meet the quality of the original game in a different way. That's great, but it's a remake. It might look fine in isolation, but when you compare it to the original, it'll miss the mark in some places. Modern character designs. What? This game takes place in 2009. I guess it could work if they mean, what if we designed Yakuza 3 today? This is what 2009 Rikia would look like. But even if they did mean that, the design still kind of sucks. Rikia looks outdated in 2009. That's the point. He represented the Yakuza from an age that doesn't exist anymore. He's like Kiryu. He's juxtaposed to the modern Yakuza in Kamurocho in the very same game. All the modern Yakuza backstab each other and they can't hold a bond. But it's this outdated young guy that is able to. Now he just looks like any other thug. Revelations aren't gonna be in Kiwami 3. Why take away something from the original game? What is this? Kiwami 2? This is for Shinseicho! What next? They're gonna take the low effort route and remove the golf course and replace it with the Kiwami 2 golf? Oh man. The cutscene data in Kiwami 3 is the exact same as the cutscene data in Yakuza 3. That makes it the same as Kiwami 1 and Kiwami 2, where the characters are emotionless because nobody wanted to reanimate the faces. I like Dragon Engine Kiryu. It took a little bit of time to get used to Kiryu's new face, but once I got used to it, I realized that, you know what, he doesn't look too bad. Here's how I would rank his faces. That's right, they're all good. Look at him, he looks great here. This might be the best he's ever looked, if he could make facial expressions. These critiques are mine, and I hope you can understand why I am criticizing these specific things. The new designs miss the point of the old ones. It defeats the purpose of something. That'd be like if you adapted Yakuza 1 into live action, and then you removed Haruka even though she's supposed to be the heart of the game. You miss the message. You miss the point. Revelations being removed because they are quote-unquote unnecessary. What next? You removed all the minigames because they're unnecessary? You removed Komaki because he's unnecessary? Oh, we could just put all his stuff on the skill tree. Who cares if you actually go and train with him? It feels lazy. You can look at this from a very shallow point of view. If better than old game, why smaller than old game? Checkmate. The golf minigame being reused is also really lazy, and it adds to this feeling of just overall laziness. But no one really gives a shit about golf, so let's just move on. The emotionless faces also add to this feeling of laziness. You couldn't just adjust Kiryu's face here? I think we can draw the line between criticism and hate here. If I just continue listing shit that I have problems with, does it even seem like I'm criticizing the game and want it to be improved, or does it seem like I can only see the flaws in the game? Nobody wants to watch somebody who is just bitching and moaning an entire video. Anyway, there's a blurry line between criticism and hate that people often cross. It's easy, and I have to point to this picture again. Yeah, not everyone who hates is the same, and they probably don't even hate the same way. And obviously, people who have criticisms aren't always haters. But once again, this is about vocal minorities, and it's a stupid YouTube video. You know how some people express the same opinion, but in an annoying way? Or some people express the same opinion, but they have to bring something else down to get their point across? That's when you start hating. Don't get me wrong, I understand how haters feel. If something means a lot to you, it's not fun seeing it go against what you loved or go against the purpose that it exists. I don't like the ending because it defeats the purpose of the series and it feels cheap. The ending is dramatic for the sake of being dramatic. This dude Eren knew that if he did not kill the entire world, all of his people would be massacred. Then he just chooses to back out at the last second, and everyone dies anyway, except all his friends, because they all died before Paradise got invaded. So they just decided to doom the next generation for no reason. The queen would never get pregnant without a reason. Actually, she got pregnant for no reason. But after a certain point, my criticisms have too much emotion behind them, and I think that's what truly separates criticism and hate. When you go from being constructive to just being emotional, they aren't mutually exclusive, but it's when one overpowers the other. Hater Exhibit A. Somebody who goes in with bad faith. Think about when Ryuga Yakuza Like a Gotoku Beyond the Game came out. There are genuine criticisms to have about the show. The way it handles characters like Haruka, Saejima, Reina, and even the fucking mole. Demon. But when you start to question everything, does it even seem like you're giving the show a fair chance, or did you start watching it with the intention to hate it? Why does Nishiki wear a purple shirt? Why does Kiryu wear sunglasses? Why is Kazuma like that? Why is Saejima not a 6-foot tall, 220-pound monster? Why are they actually at an orphanage? Why is Serena a club? You are working to see faults. It's in bad faith. Now I have genuine critiques for Kiwami 3. And so does this guy. But let's look at his media tab. Kiwami 3. Kiwami 3. Kiwami 3. It says here that they like JoJo. You know what got a trailer one day before Kiwami 3 did? Steel Ball Run. Surely they have a lot of stuff to say about Steel Ball Run. Nope, it's just Kiwami 3, and Kiwami 3, and Kiwami 3. I have to ask, when you read these tweets, do you truly believe that this person is giving Kiwami 3 a fair chance? Or are they just taking every opportunity they can to dislike it because they already decided that they weren't going to like it? Are some of these critiques justified? Yeah. But the way these critiques are presented are not from a constructive point of view. It doesn't seem like they actually want improvement. It just seems like they're working to hate rather than doing it for the love of the game. And somebody who works to hate can never out-hate somebody who does it for fun. Anyway, they're being disingenuous and taking everything as negatively as possible. It's all in bad faith. Ichiban was supposed to be the new face of the series. Now he's just pre-order DLC. That's what you're taking from this? That says more about you than it says about the game. What do you think about Yakuza 0 having Michael Jackson as a minigame character? As much as I hate the word, they are quote-unquote doom posting. This no longer seems like constructive criticism. It seems like they are hating because Kiwami 3 personally offended them. From this spawns another type of hater in Exhibit B. A and B are not mutually exclusive. You can be A, B, C, Z. I don't have a specific example or person for this, but I'm sure you've seen it. The "this is not Yakuza" type of hater. I think that some of these criticisms are justified. Why is Majima a pirate? They can just do that? They're fighting a giant squid. They can just do that? Okay, like Saitama fighting a bear is dumb too, but he can at least punch the bear. But that's a fucking giant squid. How are they fighting that? But it gets to a certain point where "this is not Yakuza" feels personal and no longer constructive. It's like the series can't be anything other than what this person thinks it is, or else it's bad. People similar to this are giving crazy emotional responses to Kiwami 3. Bad pizza. Oh my god. RGG is being poisoned by Yokoyama. All they do is remake games and make no new games. They're so washed and goofy. Everything went downhill when Nagoshi left. Why are people so quick to scapegoat somebody? Why do you guys act like RGG didn't make questionable decisions under Nagoshi's leadership? They released Yakuza 4 and Dead Souls back to back. They released a reskinned Yakuza 0, a half-finished game, and a tech demo for Judgment back to back. Are you just gonna ignore that too? Or is it because Yokoyama wasn't in power when that happened? Or was it so long ago that it doesn't count anymore? Now, I'm not defending Yokoyama to the death. You can have genuine criticisms and problems with the way he handles things and his writing. I know I do. But just stop trying to blame him for everything. It feels like 2012, where anything wrong with Call of Duty was Vonderhaar's fault. The funny thing about this Yakuza is not Yakuza behavior is that Dark Ties was written and designed with the intention of being Yakuza. This game was made for you! Unless you take that statement at face value and think that they're talking about Kenzan's roots. This branches into a third type of hater. It's still not mutually exclusive, and you can even be all three at once. A person who just constantly moves the goalpost. RGG is washed. I want RGG to do new stories, not old ones. Okay, well, you have Stranger Than Heaven coming up. I mean new Yakuza stories. Okay, Dark Ties is a new story and a new game. Nope, that was done in Ryuga Gotoku Online. Well, we had Pirate Yakuza this year. Doesn't count, that game was bad. Okay, you know what, fair. It was pretty mid. We had infinite wealth in 2024 though. So you admit that it's been a long time since RGG made a new story? All of this leads into feeling like haters don't actually want the quality to improve and will never be satisfied unless it's exactly what they want. You're no longer a critic. You're a pretentious fan who thinks they know the series better than its creatives. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why is this edit showing me? I'm justified in hating. You're telling me that Peak has the ability to spam her transformations. So why didn't she do that in Marley? She could have just jumped out, transformed, eaten them, and then just did it again. Reiner feels guilt for the things that he did, and he even gets reprimanded by Jean. But Annie just gets welcomed back with no problem. She even says she doesn't regret anything. What the fuck? This leads into a fork in the road. There's a bunch of paths, but the path that I'll be talking about is the pity path. This is something I saw when Daredevil Born Again came out and Superman came out. I won't bore you with the details, but it's really similar with Kiwami 3. You go into whatever you're watching with an idealized view of the character or show, and you go in with complete bad faith. You get angry that the show doesn't fit your idealized view of whatever you're watching. Then you take that online, and when people bring up good points, you play the pity game. Oh man, I hope to talk about Daredevil Born Again and Superman in a super mature way by spending days shitting on it with complete bad faith and constantly moving the goalpost. I can't believe that people didn't have civil discussion with me. Did you have good points? Sure, but you're part of the problem. You wanted people to see things the exact way that you do without seeing things the way that they do. This even happens in RGG communities. That's why so many people are hostile towards criticism, and so many critics are hostile back. Hate and criticism become indistinguishable. It no longer seems like these are critiques made because of genuine love, but like this is hatred being spread to grow a hate mob. It starts to give off the same energy as people who just spend every single moment hating on something new, like the Wolverine game. These people are super mad about this game, but they're gonna forget about it in a week when they move on to the next thing to hate on. Now, I'm not saying that Yakuza hate is the same exact thing. It just looks very, very similar. That's why people in RGG communities and comment sections are so quick to shut down criticism and so quick to defend themselves. It no longer feels constructive, it feels personal. And it starts a cycle that will never end and has been going on forever. I think that this game has problems. No, you don't. You're just a little crybaby. You're a shill for eating up the slop that RGG is feeding you. I'm gonna buy this game. I love this game. Thank you, shill. It makes it so easy for bad actors to come in and just get all the attention they want before they move on to the next thing to hate on. Good thing Yakuza isn't quite there yet. It's like a self-contained virus. Anyway, we're at the end of the video, and the only point I have is that criticism and hate are different. There's a very blurry line, but they are different. You can't expect to be taken seriously as a critic when all you do is constantly cry. At the same time, people who criticize are often called crybabies and whiners, and then they're just brushed off. Please know the difference. I'd prefer if you didn't call anyone a crybaby, but if you're gonna call somebody a crybaby, make sure it's the right person. This goes the other way too. Defenders of something aren't always a shill. Know the difference. And stop being so negative and hostile. If something isn't for you, don't make that somebody else's problem. Anyway, criticism and hate are separated. Know the difference. That's it. Bye.
Nothing makes you happier than being miserable, does it? All you do these days is moan.